How's it going, guys? Recently I did a video on the 7 traits required to be a business owner. Today I want to talk about 6 traits that may disqualify you from being a business owner. Before we get into things, I want to ask you a big favor. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, do me a favor and click on the subscribe link below, hit the bell notification, and let's get into it. So one of the things I want to say right out of the gate is that when it comes to being someone that would be qualified to run a business or not, it's not whether or not you have an MBA degree, it's not whether or not you have a ton of money in the bank. It really has to do with the type of person that you are in the inside, your motivation or lack thereof, your thought, a lot of other things like that anybody can learn. So it's not so much your background, it's not your bank account, it's who you choose to be as a person. So what are some of these traits that I would warn against going into business if you have? Well, the first one for me is that probably should not go into business if you're someone that is afraid of risk. Now, hear me out for a second here. Risk for the sake of risk is just kind of dumb, but educated risk, calculated risk is something that's absolutely essential to running a business. You know, in life, there's all kinds of levels of risk. If you walk across the street, that is a risk. If you live where I do and you walk across the street, that's even more risk. But when it comes to starting a business, it's always going to take a little bit of calculated risk. You're going to do your best research. You're going to plan as best as you can. You're going to make sure you have a good product market fit. But at the end of the day, there's still going to be risk involved. And so if you are somebody that is afraid of risk, chances are business is probably not for you, because it's going to require that you have a little bit of risk, sometimes a lot of risk, that you are going to do your best to minimize, but nonetheless it's just going to be part of the deal of having a business. There are no guarantees in life, and there's certainly not guarantees in business. There's only making sure that you do your best to minimize the risk as much as you can. Secondly, you should probably not be a business owner if you are someone that gives up easily. There are going to be times where you will want to quit. That's normal. But when it comes to business, I find that there's some people that are just really so quick to give up. They might only be into things a few months or, a half a year, and they just feel like maybe this isn't for me. If you're gonna feel like that after 3 months or half a year or even a year, you're right. Business is probably not for you, because sometimes it's going to take years, and even we've all seen many businesses that have been successful for a very long period of times, maybe even 10, 20, 50, 100 years. And businesses are gonna face challenges where they're really going to have to figure out how to make it through that. I do find though that at the early days, it's easier to have that feeling of giving up. And by early days, I don't mean a week or 2 or 3, but I mean in the first few months or even in the first year, it could often be the most challenging. But if you're the person that can make it past that first year, then you're someone that can make it past the second year. If you make it past your 5th year, chances are you have a business that's really gonna survive for a very long time. So when I look back to my own business journey, I really didn't know if I was gonna make it past the first month, truly. But I just have the personality where I'm never gonna give up. I'm never going to quit. Even if I feel like giving up, even if I feel like quitting, I'm just stubborn by nature. If I set my mind to it, I'm not gonna give up. And that's something that you have to look deep inside before you get started with a business. The third trait that you probably should not have if you're gonna start a business is inability to self-motivate. When you're in a job, when you're working for someone else, there's a lot of external factors that are gonna motivate you, right? Like making sure you get that paycheck. You gotta do your job, You got to do it well. There's going to be a structure in place that others put there. And of course, you could do your best within those structures, but there are a lot of external motivators that are going to help keep you on the right track. When you have a business, you need those motivations from within you. There's not going to be people that are coming in there telling you what to do. And I think that this ability to internally motivate and internally take responsibility for what's going on is absolutely critical. If you're the type of person that likes to blame other people around you, if you're the type of person that likes to always get the answer from other people, chances are you're going to really struggle with having a business. Sure, you should seek counsel and you should try to get great advice for others. I'm not saying that you need to kind of be this, solo person figuring it all out on yourself, but you need to know that it's going to take you taking the initiative to make all of those type of things to happen. Fourth, if you have the trait of poor decision making, then chances are business may not be for you. Sometimes people, when everything is just going fine, are able to do well with decision making, but how do you do that under pressure? It's like if you were a basketball player and you're just out on the court by yourself, shooting free throws, that's great. But how are you gonna do when the whole stadium's looking at you? When there's a timer, when you have the pressure, that's more what it's like being a business owner. You need to know that you're able to make good decisions, not poor decisions, regardless of the circumstances around you, regardless of how much pressure and stress and anxiety you have. So poor decision making is something that is just really going to cause you a lot of challenges if you're a business owner. Fifth, if you have the trait of having lack of planning, then chances are being a business owner is not for you. As a business owner, sometimes you need to respond right there on the spot and be quick to make good decisions. However, that's not enough. You really gotta plan ahead. You gotta think through the vision and mission of your company and what it is that you're seeking to achieve. And you need to create a work environment along with all the processes and systems to be able to give the business the best chance of being a success. So if you're not someone that likes thinking into the future, planning ahead, chances are your business is really gonna struggle and this might not be the best option for you. 6, and this is a little bit of a debatable one, I believe that if you don't have the trait of having passion for what you're doing, then chances are you might not be a great fit for being a business owner. Now, some people are gonna say it's not just passion, but you need grit and determination and resilience and a lot of those other traits. And I agree, you absolutely do. But you really need to have passion for business in general. It has to be something where even if people say, don't start a business, it's a stupid idea, you're gonna lose all your money, it's gonna cause you sleepless nights, it's just going to be such a difficult road, you're not gonna wind up with a for sure retirement at the end of it, and on and on. If you're not the kind of person that says, I know all those things may be true, but I don't care, I just can't help but having a business, then chances are being a business owner isn't for you. You really need to have the passion, the entrepreneurial passion to be a business owner, to create something from nothing, to water it and see it grow over time in order to really make it for the long haul. So I'd be curious what you guys think below. Are there any other traits that you think are treacherous for someone wanting to start a business owner that I did not mention, or any that you disagree with? Let me know what you think below. And as asked at the very beginning of this video, I would really appreciate it if you guys haven't subscribed already, please do so and hit that bell notification below. As always, guys, I appreciate you so much taking the time to watch, and take care.